Hello everyone, welcome back to Airlines Quest. Today, we're diving deep into a significant development in the Boeing 737 MAX scandal. Boeing has recently pleaded guilty to criminal fraud charges. These charges are directly related to the crashes of two Boeing 737 MAX in 2018 and 2019, which resulted in the devastating loss of 346 lives. This plea marks a pivotal moment in a saga that has rocked the aviation world and raised serious questions about corporate accountability and regulatory oversight. Let's start by rewinding the clock and examining the events that led to this point. In October 2018, Lion Air Flight 610 crashed into the Java Sea shortly after takeoff from Jakarta, Indonesia. All 189 people on board lost their lives. Just 5 months later, in March 2019, Ethiopian Airlines Flight 302 crashed near Addis Ababa, claiming 157 lives. Both of these tragedies involved the Boeing 737 MAX, a new model that had been touted as more fuel-efficient and technologically advanced than its predecessors. As investigations unfolded, a disturbing picture began to emerge. At the heart of both crashes was a flight control system known as MCAS, the Maneuvering Characteristics Augmentation System. This system was designed to automatically adjust the plane's angle of attack to prevent stalling. However, in both crashes, it appeared that MCAS had activated erroneously, pushing the nose of the plane down despite the pilot's attempts to regain control. The revelation of MCAS's role in the crashes led to a global grounding of the 737 MAX fleet, costing Boeing billions in losses and compensation to airlines. But the story doesn't end there. As investigations deepened, it became clear that Boeing had not been fully transparent about MCAS with regulators or pilots. This brings us to the crux of the current situation. The U.S. Department of Justice has now charged Boeing with criminal fraud. Why? Because Boeing allegedly misled the Federal Aviation Administration, FAA, during the certification process of the 737 MAX. Specifically, Boeing is accused of providing incomplete and inaccurate information about MCAS to regulators. Now, you might be wondering, hasn't Boeing already faced consequences for this? You're right to ask. In January 2021, Boeing had reached a $2.5 billion settlement with the Justice Department. This agreement, known as a deferred prosecution agreement, allowed Boeing to avoid criminal charges if they met certain conditions over a 3-year period. However, recent developments have shown that Boeing violated this agreement. The details of this violation haven't been fully disclosed, but it was significant enough for prosecutors to bring criminal charges against the company. So, what are the consequences of this guilty plea? Let's break it down. First, Boeing must pay a fine of $243.6 million. This is in addition to the previous $2.5 billion settlement. Second, the company is required to invest at least $455 million in compliance and safety initiatives. This is crucial, as it's meant to prevent similar issues from occurring in the future. And third, an independent monitor will oversee Boeing's safety and quality procedures for 3 years. This adds an extra layer of scrutiny to Boeing's operations. It's important to note that this agreement only covers misconduct that occurred before the crashes. It doesn't protect Boeing or its officials from any other incidents or future misconduct. While these penalties might seem substantial, they've been met with mixed reactions. Some view them as a step towards accountability, while others, particularly families of crash victims, feel they don't go far enough. Many families of the crash victims are calling for more severe consequences. They want to see a criminal trial that could potentially lead to the prosecution of high-ranking Boeing officials. Their argument is that a trial would shed more light on what Boeing knew about the 737 MAX's issues and when they knew it. These families also contend that the fines, while large, are not significant enough to truly impact a company of Boeing's size. They argue that without more severe penalties, there's not enough deterrent to prevent similar corporate behavior in the future. The implications of this guilty plea extend beyond just the financial penalties. Boeing's status as a government contractor could be affected. The company has major contracts with NASA and the Department of Defense, and a criminal conviction could potentially impact these relationships. Boeing's CEO, David Calhoun, has publicly apologized to the families of the victims and defended the company's commitment to safety. In a statement, he said, "We have made significant changes as a company and to our culture, including a restructuring of our engineering organization and an increased focus on safety at every level of our operations. However, Critics argue that these changes and apologies are too little, too late. They point out that the lives lost can never be reclaimed, and that the trauma inflicted on families and communities is permanent. This case raises broader questions about corporate responsibility and regulatory oversight in the aviation industry. How can we ensure that profit motives don't override safety concerns? What changes need to be made to the certification process for new aircraft? And how can we strike a balance between innovation and safety in an industry where lives are literally on the line? As we wrap up, it's clear that the Boeing 737 MAX scandal is far from over. While this guilty plea represents a significant development, it's likely that we'll see ongoing legal battles, policy debates, and corporate reforms in the coming years. What do you think about this situation? Is justice being served, or should Boeing face harsher consequences? How can we prevent similar tragedies in the future? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.